Welcome to the Gene Mattingly Show. Find out all about Southridge baseball straight from the coach. The Gene Mattingly Show is brought to you by the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? Well, look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
Building a bright future, Jubilar Development. We're proudly serving your community. Family and friends, a winning team. Locally owned, built on quality. Jubilar, the name to depend on. Building a brighter future, Jubilar Development.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome to this week's Gene Mattingly Show. Coach, last week you played Du Bois, Boonville, North, and Central. Very busy week. Why don't you recap those games for us?
So originally we had our last conference game scheduled for that Tuesday. We had a rain out, so pushed the Boonville game to Thursday. So we ended up going, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, close out the year. Played really good Du Bois team on Wednesday night. We were fortunate to get out of there with a 2-1 win. Cobb Kip he was just great. He was on the mound, and he controlled us. They made a couple errors, and I think we ended up a couple runs there that we were just good enough defensively to keep them at one run. So that was a good game. Boonville was a good game. We ended up getting our 12th conference win, close out the PAC, undefeated, claim a sole possession, so didn't have to share it with anyone. North came to town, probably the most talented team, athletically, I've seen in a while from a high school baseball team. And lost 4-3, had a chance to win at the end. Couldn't get a big hit, had a guy on second. Couldn't get a big hit when we needed it late. We went down to Central. Won 2-1 down there. Kevin McLean he had a perfect game going into the fifth. Did really well. Played really good defense and hit it enough to score more than they did. So it was a good week to finish out 3-1 against a pretty good. That's a tough stretch of schedule there, 4 days in a row. So we were happy with how we played. We were happy with the momentum we had coming into the tournament, and so it was a good week for us.
And a couple comments about last week. First of all, the Du Bois game. I know you had Cobb pitched against you for Du Bois, and if you're going to have a name Ty Cobb, you better be a baseball player, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Maybe the pronunciation and the spelling might be a little different, but if you say it real fast, those of us old enough to remember and appreciate what that name meant to baseball. So, it's pretty good.
And then against North, you guys celebrated your 50th anniversary of your baseball sectional champion team. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was really nice. 50 years ago was Southridge's, I think, his first sectional ever. It was also because of the merger of Huntingburg and Holland. I think they merged if I get this right, they merged going into the spring calendar. So it was the first year there was an actual Southridge team. Some of the guys I was talking with, they had been but they had been rivals, and then 3 weeks later they're teammates. And so have that come together that first year was nice, and it probably had to be pretty special. So we thought, celebrating the 50th year of that. That we thought it was, would be a good idea to bring those guys in that could make it, and just really appreciate what they started. And so it was nice to see a lot of those guys at the park, on the field, and Coach Gary Meyer he was able to throw out the first pitch, and so it was good having him back. Yeah, good night for Raider baseball.
And at the beginning of the season, if anyone would have told you you're going to be 20-5, 12-0 in PAC, ranked 7th in the state in 3A, you'd take it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. If we could just fast forward to a sectional championship, somebody'd add that to there. That'd be great too. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know that I'm surprised, but I'm pleased.
And I'll tell you what, I said this. Other people said this 2 years ago when you and Jasper won state, that DuBois County is the high school baseball capital of Indiana. And I'd say this week with you and Jasper and Northeast DuBois and Forsberg all being ranked, I'd say that holds true again.
Yeah, I mean it's unique. This is a unique area for all sports, really. But I mean, the baseball in general, you've got nothing but the utmost respect for the three other head coaches that are in this county, and what they do for their programs and what they do for their kids, and how they go about it and do it the right way, right? And so, not only at the high school level, but the involvement in the community, and what they do with their, we'll call them feeder programs. You can call them whatever you want, but the young kids, the 9s through 13s and 14s that they spend time, maybe they're not there personally, but they're invested in the people that are, so that they're getting quality instruction, and they're staying involved with the school program. I think that's not like that everywhere. All the travel stuff, you go into bigger cities and everything's about travel and what they do in the summer and what their PBR rankings are, and not missing on PBR, but at the end of the day, who freaking cares? Go out and win a baseball game. Don't care what your ranking is, how hard you throw it, can you get outs? And I think our community and our county still embraces just the fact that, go out, compete, play the game the right way, respect your opponent, and then play hard. I think the coaches breathe that. I think the coaches teach that. And I think you see it every year come tournament time. County schools competing at a high level because of that. I just went on a tangent that I swore I wouldn't go on, but sorry. That's how
no problem. No problem at all. I was talking to Luke Willems earlier this week, and I said, thank God Jasper doesn't have, or not just Jasper, DuBois County doesn't have one high school, because I'd hate to be a school board member that had to pick a head baseball coach between you and Coach Howard and Coach Gobert and Coach Willems. That'd be tough. That'd be a tough one.
It would, yeah. I don't think it would be as tough as you think. I think my money would be on Terry, and then I would be happy to be his assistant. But the others may not feel that way. But you're right. There's such quality coaches. I would hate to be. I'm just glad we're not, because you've got such quality kids and such quality players that would be left out. And they would be left out. And you're cutting you figure you got 4 county schools, and you cut that roster down to 20 players. Right? It's tough. A lot of good quality kids and players would get left out and not have the privilege and the joy of being part of something. And so I'm glad we don't have one single school, regardless. Now, I wish Jasper would have stayed in 4A. We'd have a school in each class. So tournament time, nobody was eliminating anyone. But IHSAA make those decisions we don't get to. And so, now we're staring it Monday in the face. Should be an amazing atmosphere.
You're listening to the Gene Mattingly Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Million for Communications. We'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
Building a bright future, Jubilar Development. We're proudly serving your community. Family and friends, a winning team. Locally owned, built on quality. You belong, the name to depend on building a brighter future. Lord Development.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
One of the Southridge heroes, Tucker Shank, on that last drive. You had the big screen connection first after a fourth down conversion. Can you take me through what you were kind of thinking on that drive as you only had one timeout, then you had none, you knew you needed a touchdown?
Just give everything I have. I didn't know if this would be my last drive or my last moments with my teammates, so I wanted to give it everything I had just for them, and we knew that we were playing for our season right there in that drive, so the opportunity was there, and I did my best to take control of it, and my teammates did a great job blocking on that play.
You scored the touchdown, and I immediately looked at Coach. He put 2 in the air to go for 2. Did you know what play was coming, and take me through that play?
Yeah, I did know what play was coming. We went through it many times in practices, never were sure if we were going to bust it out, but it turns out it ended up being pretty big for us there at the end, so it was just a play where we take advantage of the man-to-man defense, and we just did some dummy motion to hopefully slide him over and get him caught in the defense, and then just a little shoot route for the corner.
Pretty good description. I felt like the entire game, though, on the sidelines, you were down, you were struggling at times defensively, but you always made stops. No one ever gave up. No one ever quit. You always had confidence.
That's exactly why you can't ever. There were plenty of opportunities for us to fold and give up, but this tells you why you can't do that. And our defense was very, very resilient. Our big guys up front and the D-line did an absolutely outstanding job in those red zone moments. So I couldn't thank them anymore for everybody just giving it their all.
Congratulations. I'd call it a legendary performance for a team that wanted to be legends.
Thank you very much. And hopefully we do achieve that status. Hopefully we already have.
I think so. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And welcome to this week's Gene Mattingly Show. And we're joined by Southridge great Tucker Shank. Tucker, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful, Joe. How are you doing?
Good. A lot of people know about you in high school, totally. And if you don't know about Tucker Shank, you live under a rock. Tucker, what have you been doing since high school?
Well, I graduated high school, and I went to Indiana University, and I spent 4 years on the Indiana University baseball program under Jeff Mercer, and 2020 was odd because of the COVID year. But once we got through that, it was a normal time. I was a student athlete there for the next 3 years. And, a lot of great memories there. And obviously, IU's a wonderful place to go just to be a student in general. So my life was very busy, but it was also very, very worth it. And I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. But that's what I did the past few years.
Now, you followed your dad he played for IU. Did that have much influence on your decision to go to IU?
Absolutely, yeah. My mother went to IU. My sister went to IU. She actually was still there when I started going there. And yeah, my dad played there. He played baseball there for 2.5 years under Coach Bob Morgan. He wore the jersey number 26, and coincidentally, a couple of years ago, when the coaches were selecting me to have my jersey number, they randomly chose 26 for me, and I didn't even tell them that was my dad's old number. It just happened by happenstance. So that was really cool. So yeah, I followed his footsteps, and 1, playing there, and 2, we wore the same exact jersey number.
And before you got to IU, you were at Southridge, and you got to catch one of the most famous passes in Southridge football history. How did that feel?
It's. I was thinking about this the other day because sometimes people they ask me about it and say, "Oh, remember when this happened?" Yeah, I do. It's like I don't remember the exact details of the game itself because I was just so focused and so, I don't want to say nervous, but I was just so locked in, like, hey, how do I not mess up this play, and how do I get this right? So how do we do everything right here that we can just to give ourselves the best chance to win? I don't remember the X's and O's of that game very much, except when I see it on film and whatnot, or people show me clips. But the most rewarding thing is that people still enjoy that memory. They love it. They still talk about it. It still brings a smile to their face, and that's what means the most to me.
And, you played baseball at Southridge, and Southridge has had some really good coaches over the years. They've had Gary Meyer. They've had actually they've had Dave Shank, and now they've had Gene Mattingly. And I'll tell you what, I still always tell people that the best coaching staff at Southridge had to be probably in the early 90s when Dave Shank was the JV coach and I was the assistant coach.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dad still talks about that. He loved it, and he was young. He was very young when he started coaching there, and that was kind of his first real coaching gig. And he was only, I guess you were young too, but you guys were only, several years older than some of the players, so you guys had a little bit of youthful exuberance. I feel like it was easier for you guys to relate and talk to the players and coach them, and that's what really got Dad's coaching career started.
And there's been some great coaches come through Southridge through the years, and how do you equate this year's baseball team to when you played?
Well, every team's very different, and obviously we were very blessed when I played. We had some really special talent with guys like Colson Montgomery, who's going to be a big league baseball player, and you don't see that happen very often, particularly in this area. We had a lot of great guys in his class that complemented that very well. We had several guys go on to play college baseball, and then we had guys in my class that did the same, but we'd also worked very hard. We were such good friends, and we just pushed each other. I see a lot of that in this group here. They're really good kids. They push each other, and there's no real, I don't want to say, they're not full of superstars, and we weren't full of superstars either. We just banked on each other, and we did the best we could as a team. And that's what I see out of this group, and that's why I appreciate watching them.
Well, Tucker, good luck on whatever's next in the life of Tucker Shank.
I appreciate that very much. Same to you, and it's great talking to you as usual.
And you're listening to the Gene Mattingly Show on the Southwest Media Sports Network, powered by the American Customer Communications. We'll be right back. That's just for our sponsor.
Building a bright future, Jubilar Development. We're proudly serving your community. Family and friends, a winning team. Locally owned, built on quality. Jubilar, the name to depend on. Building a brighter future, Jubilar Development.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and...
And welcome back to the Gene Mattingly Show. And, Coach, I'll tell you what, Tucker Shank, Colson Montgomery, you've had many other players too, but you've had some really good players come through Southridge, and they're making a name for themselves on the next level.
Yeah, I mean, part of what's fun about coaching is the relationships and the people you coach, with the players, and watching them progress, and then watching them, how they succeed in whatever their endeavor at beyond high school. We've been very fortunate enough. We've had extremely talented baseball players as well as just a quality in that it. And so some of them are fortunate enough to continue on, and we've got some guys playing at a really high level. Tucker played at Division I, Big Ten level. Got another guy in the Big Ten right now. I graduated in 21 class, Camden Gasser, Ethan Bell, Carter Whitehead, Colson Montgomery, Chase Taylor, Weston Allen, Connor Oxley. We've had a good run of really good kids that have really good baseball players. So, Tucker's right up there with the best, one of the best athletes I've ever coached. Probably still one of the top 5 competitors, just with the will to win and do whatever it takes kind of mentality. So, considering, he's a good friend. I enjoy conversations with him. I pick his brain sometimes about, things that we can help our guys get better at, that he experienced at the collegiate level, practice drills, practice habits, mental makeup, approaches at the plate, just things that when you get to the next level, the level of coaching and what you're exposed to increases. And so we try to pick his brain on that to help our guys. But what a pleasure to coach. It's all around with that.
And the other day yesterday I turned on the Big Ten Network and was watching some of the baseball on there, and I got to see Mr. Gasser in a Michigan uniform.
Oh yeah. So he's had a good year. Obviously he's redshirt last year after shoulder surgery. So first year kind of getting his feet wet in spring competition. So I think he's had a good year. Obviously, I know Camden well enough to know that if he's not in the lineup every day, he's going to keep fighting. So he's probably not as pleased as a lot of people are with his playing time, but he's a freshman. He's going to be successful there.
And then last night you opened up sectional play against Heritage Hills, and you came out a 6-1 winner. Why don't you recap that game for us? Yeah,
it was kind of a tale of two games, or kind of a tale of two momentums. But we came out being a visitor team at league stage, kind of a weird deal, and I didn't think we were quite ready to play. I don't think we were focused. Like we should have been early. And they were. I mean, Heritage Hills, Coach Fish had them ready. They were fired up. They were into it. They were focused. They were ready to compete. They took it to us in that first inning, offensively and defensively. We found ourselves down 1-0 and kind of sitting on our thumbs a little bit. Took a little bit to wake up. We started putting a little pressure on them, and they made a couple of mistakes that opened the door for us to put some runs on the board, and then we kind of capitalized from there. So really excited about kind of how we finished that game, the last 6 innings, and so looking forward to kind of building off of that, how we executed after that first inning.
And then Monday, the sectional will continue with you playing Jasper at 11 o'clock and Ben Sims playing Pike Central at 1 o'clock. And if I have any advice for people, I'd say get there early because I think there's going to be quite a big crowd for the Pike Central Southridge game.
Yeah, you mean the Jasper Southridge?
Yeah, Jasper.
It's okay. Everybody knows what I think this is one of the things that since Jasper dropped back down into 3A, this is probably the matchup that everybody was anticipating. Once the sectional assignments, or alignments, if you will, they came back to our sectional, the alignment happened. So it's what everybody's been looking for. 2 quality teams. I think you're going to have good arms, good bats, you're going to have good gloves, you're going to have guys out there competing their tails off, and it should be a great atmosphere for high school baseball. It's going to be 11 a.m. start. I'm not a morning person, but that's still, that's late enough for me. Weather's going to be great. Hands will be packed. Those chairback chairs will be wonderful. Be sitting in the shade and some comfortable seating, and it should be a fun baseball game.
Well, Gene, good luck this weekend.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you.
And you're listening to the Gene Mattingly Show on the South Virginia Sports Network, powered by Northern Brothers for Communications. We'll see you next week.
Tune in next week for the Gene Mattingly Show on the Southwestern Indiana Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.